It's kind of a little wilderness in there. Let's check it out. Let's go into the woods. It's a little bit of a wild terrain here. And down there, you can hardly see it, but there's a bridge down there. And in 1945, in March 1945, at the end of World War II, it was blown up by the Norwegian resistance. The Germans were sending soldiers and material down to Germany to defend Berlin at the very end of the war. And the Norwegian resistance decided to blow it up. That bridge and many more bridges all over Norway on the same day. So in total, I believe 18 Norwegian resistance fighters came here and fought the Germans and then blew up the bridge. A small battle took place on this location here. I believe 6 Germans were killed and none of the Norwegian resistance fighters were killed, so it was a huge success and it took place here on this location. Here's some information about the incident. The leader, Kjell Stål, he was a great guy. Not only did he blow up this bridge, but he also saved Jews from the area here. He saved a woman and 3 kids. He got them to Sweden on his own. He tried to get help from the resistance in doing so, but they said that helping the Jews was not a military issue, so they didn't want to help. And he was quite upset about that. But he, at least, was a great guy and was able to not only blow up this bridge, but he also saved Jews from the area. And he was not happy with the resistance. He had a conflict with them after the war about them not doing enough to help the Jews, but he certainly did his part. When you walk in a forest like this, of course you want to see wildlife. And from the drone footage you can see it's kind of like a wilderness here. So there's definitely wildlife, moose and deer. But it's kind of like we have a circle of perception. And our circle is very small. Should be big. We need to pay attention to what's going on further ahead. Not just near us, not down, not look down, look ahead. Have a wide circle of perception, which is not easy. You need to use your eyes. A lot of the animals do not have as good eyesight as humans. And then there's the circle of disturbance. It's usually very big, but it needs to be small. We need to make very few noises, be very quiet, so that our circle of disturbance is very limited, small. Do not step on branches. That's the major number 1 rule. Do not step on branches. Do not talk. So if you're with a friend, that friend needs to be quiet. And if you're alone, you can't make a YouTube video like this. The animals are going to hear it. It's a perfect day for a hike, and it's still early, 6:30. I started the hike at 4:30, so you need to be up really early. I did not see any people driving on the road here today, coming, and nobody so far on the trail. And I don't think it's going to be anyone to see either until a couple of hours from now. People maybe wake up now and then they go for a hike, but very few people are up as early as I am. But I think it's the way to go. You can be out here entirely on your own. Definitely the way to go, to be up early. And since there's no bears in this forest, the most dangerous animal for sure is the moose. And some of them are killers, straight out killers, murderers. A woman was not that long ago, a couple of years ago, found dead in Sweden outside her home, outside her house by her husband. And he called the police. And when the police arrived, they arrested the husband for the murder. He was the suspect for 6 months, and he spent weeks in jail before the investigators finally found out that the killer, the murderer, was a moose. A moose who had eaten too many apples in the area. For some reason, apples make moose go crazy. I don't know why. Something chemical happens in their brain with apples. So they can be dangerous. Some stone cold killers out there, and they never found the moose. They didn't know which one it was. I could probably speak for hours about all the dangerous animals you have here in Norway. For example, the European common adder, which is a venomous snake that you'll find here in Norway. But the most dangerous animal will always be the human beings. And whatever you encounter, whether it's a dangerous animal or humans, you should always have a knife, a big Rambo knife, if you're walking in the woods here in this country. For example, if you encounter a poacher, he might want to talk to you about that. And if he moves slowly, you can just run away. But if he's fast, you might want to think about just hiding, stopping and hiding. Because they don't expect you to just stop. They expect you to run away. So if you hide, they might just pass you by. And up here in the mountains, in the forest up here, up in the hills here, there's some shady individuals. Definitely. And you always have to keep that in mind when you travel up here. I've never had to use this against human beings, but you never know. I've seen a lot of movies. I'll definitely come back here in a few days with my bicycle to use these inviting gravel roads. Can really get around and really see the area with a bicycle. And I found out that I forgot my bottle of water in the car. But that's not a problem here in this country. You can just drink from the waterfall back there or up here. I've been to North America and was told not to drink the water. It had to be purified. I was in Canada and Alaska once, many years ago. But in this country you don't need to worry too much about the water. You can just drink it from the streams. Most of the time you'll be totally fine. Yes, there's a venomous snake here in this country, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. But every year a couple of dogs are killed running around and getting bitten in the nose. But there's also a constrictor known as the European grass snake. You can find it in this country. And this snake can be very big. 1.5 meters, that's pretty big. So a lot of people even that live up here, if they first time they see a snake like that, they'll be very surprised and scared. It's a big snake. And most people might not associate Norway with snakes, but for sure we have snakes here. It's not that cold in this part of the country, southern part. It's not that different than northern European countries such as Denmark and Germany. And here, another little lake. And still haven't seen any people on this hike. I recently watched a video on YouTube where a woman described how to move in the forest very quietly so you don't disturb the animals. I was talking about the circle of disturbance. It's about moving very slowly. She called it the walk of the fox. And it was something with her knees had to be bent. And she had millions of views on this video, millions and millions. And she must be an expert. So I'll demonstrate how she walked, how she did it, and this is how you might possibly see more animals than I do. This is how she did it. Just look. Pay attention to the knees. I'm back at the spots I was earlier today when I started out the hike. And there's a lot of water in the river today. And that's because the last few days there's been a lot of rain. A lot of thunder and lightning and rain going on. Can't even imagine how bad it was yesterday. But today, perfect. And 2 days ago when it was going on, the thunder and lightning, a man was actually hit by the lightning and got killed. Not too far away from here, I believe. So that's a danger as well when you're outside. I certainly do not like to be outside when there's thunder and lightning. I stay inside. I enjoy being outside and outdoors when it's like this, perfect weather. I'm not sure how many times people have been hit by lightning in this country. The man was very unfortunate. It's a very tragic story. That's danger as well. Lightning. Many dangers when you're outside. But on a day like this, you'll be all right.